Well, it's back to school, and for many of you, life just got a whole lot busier. So, what does that mean for the healthy habits that you've developed over the summer? Things like going to the gym, home cooked meals, a full night's sleep. Did they all just go out the window? Well, they don't have to. Today, I'm going to share with you some tips for making the transition easier. And these tips don't just apply to back to school. Maybe you started a new job, or you just retired, or got married, or had a baby. All of these things can wreak havoc with your schedule and your healthy habits. So, these tips I'm about to share apply to all of life's transitions. Very first thing that you need to do is sit down and reevaluate your priorities. And by this, I mean take a long, hard look at where you're spending your time and your energy and be brutally honest with yourself. How many of these things are absolutely necessary or bring you joy? Everything else can be eliminated or scaled back, at least during this time of transition. So, while you're doing this evaluation, I strongly encourage you to give as much weight to taking care of yourself as you do to taking care of everyone else. We've all heard that you need to take care of yourself before you can take care of others, but there's an even more important reason, and that is simply that you are just as worthy of being taken care of as anybody else. And if you don't do it, who will? So here's an example from one of my clients. She is a very busy working mother, and she had always driven her children to school. But this year she decided that there was no reason that they couldn't take the bus. So that's what she did. And guess what? They're all still making it to school. They're happy and healthy, and so is she. But she also has an extra hour every morning for self-care, and that includes fixing a healthy lunch to take to work. All right, once you have your must-dos together, the next step is to delegate. And just a couple of things to keep in mind while you're delegating is that just because you've always done it all doesn't mean that you have to continue that. And also, just because you might be able to do something better than someone else doesn't mean that you should do it. Sometimes good enough is better than perfect when it means somebody else is doing the work. So the same client that decided to have her children ride the bus, she also created a good old-fashioned chore chart where each family member is assigned a night to fix dinner and other basic household chores that she used to do herself. That's one example. I would also include in delegating things like deciding to have your groceries delivered rather than doing the shopping yourself, or hiring somebody to mow the lawn or do some housework for you. Whatever works in your situation, just make sure that you're spreading the workload, that you're not trying to do everything. Now, the next two tips are more about attitude. And the first one is, let's approach this with an experimental mind. In other words, we're going to try some new things, and some of them will turn out great and some of them not so great. But don't look at it as failure. There is no failure. You either succeed or you learn, and then you take what you discovered and create a new goal. Let's say you told yourself you're going to go to the gym every morning before work. And after a week, you realize it's just not practical. Or maybe you're doing it, but you're miserable. So change the goal. Instead of going to the gym in the morning, try going to the gym after work. Or maybe you scrap the gym altogether and you take a walk on your lunch hour or do yoga at home. Whatever works for you, but just keep an open mind. And the most important thing is to remember there is no failure. There is only success or learning and then trying again. And finally, be gentle and patient with yourself. Transitions are difficult, and adapting to change can take time. Be sure to celebrate the small victories along the way, and also keep in mind that the goal is progress, not perfection. So those are the tips that have gotten me through life's transitions, and at my age, I've been through a few. I'd love it if you'd share what's worked for you. Maybe we can help each other. Also, I sincerely appreciate a thumbs up for this video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. In the meantime, until we see each other again, enjoy the journey.